This is the Pickled Punks. We've seen so many terrible movies.
James, summary?
I'm no good at summaries. Okay, so summary. We have the female protagonist of the film, Michelle. She has recently broken up. She's having some type of relationship issue, and she decides to make a run for it. Ends up stranded in a house after an accident with people she doesn't know. After a car accident with people she doesn't know, where she is trying to figure out what is going on, why she's there, and come to terms with her new reality.
What is something special about this house?
It's a bunker, an underground survivalist bunker.
Who was present? I wasn't paying attention.
You had Emmett, who was a local yokel, also in the barn, and Howard, the owner of the bunker, who seems to be just a little bit off the center.
John Goodman.
Played by John Goodman.
John Goodman. Hell of an actor. You know, he was a big alcoholic.
Really?
Yeah. He was a
movie?
huge alcoholic, not just based on size, but his quantity of drinking.
Well, go big or go strong.
No, in his personal life.
Did
go home.
Did he get over it?
He did. When he was, I think when he was it before Roseanne or during Roseanne?
You're telling us, now you're asking us?
Well, I heard it on Howard Stern.
Oh, well, it's got to be true then.
What was him? It was Mr. Goodman talking about it.
Well, seeing as, wasn't it him that was married to Roseanne during the filming of Roseanne?
He wasn't really. That was Tom Arnold. A TV show, dude.
No. Tom Arnold. I thought that he was actually married to Roseanne, and then Tom Arnold came along, and she left him for Tom Arnold.
Was that true? I think you're getting your fat white guys mixed up.
No, but then the King of England died, and he was the next closest relative, so he had to go be the king of...
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm sorry. Is that King Ralph? I got
King Ralph, yeah.
Oh, my God.
All mixed up with
Was
reality.
Tom Arnold the guy who played Tim the Toolman Taylor?
Oh, my gosh. No!
Who was he?
That's the guy that was a comic who did a bunch of cocaine.
Yeah, that's all of them.
Yeah.
No names? You don't know?
He was...
What was his name, Jim?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, who?
Tim the Toolman Taylor. What's his name?
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen.
Right.
Yeah.
His name is Tim.
Yeah, that show was on the air for a very long time. Hated it the entire time.
But you loved Roseanne. You're a big Roseanne fan.
I liked Roseanne, yeah.
Really? I never
No,
really...
you don't.
I don't now, but I did when I was younger. I liked watching Roseanne. I thought it was funny.
And now you don't think it's
You know,
funny?
when we watched Cloverfield, I kind of felt like it was I imagined it as a kind of sequel to Roseanne. Like everyone in the Roseanne household, all the characters got killed, and only John Goodman survived.
Is this a joke or is this for
No,
real?
I mean it's my interpretation.
I can see that happening.
Actually, that does kind of, I mean, the character that John Goodman plays, I could see being Roseanne's husband after, just completely getting pushed too far over the edge.
Man.
And he's just like, I'm building a shelter and living by myself now.
Yeah, he had kind of a low tolerance for it being in that family, and he was always annoyed. At least that's how it seemed. Didn't talk to him personally.
I like this movie. It's my opinion.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
At first, I thought it kind of had a Saw vibe when she woke up chained in the bed with her thigh chained, and I thought it was going to be a gross kind of rapey kind of Saw. Took a couple U-turns, like you felt super creeped out by the Goodman character, Howard, and then when you figured out there really was an attack, you felt kind of sympathetic for him. And then when you found out that he may or may not have murdered his daughter, he became creepy again. I just like all the U-turns that it took.
Yeah, his character is fantastic.
It was very, very unpredictable. I didn't know. I think what you're getting at is you didn't really know where it was going.
Yeah, it was like 3 different movies in one.
But it wasn't really his daughter that he murdered.
Yeah,
exactly.
It was a
local girl.
It's a local girl.
So he really was a creepy abductor.
Yeah,
well,
she wasn't wrong.
From what I got from the story, the wife and daughter left. They didn't really get into as to why they left, but just judging from his character, there was a multitude of reasons. And then he abducted a local schoolgirl and kept her in the shack. I liked the movie a lot.
B-52s are talking about?
Yeah.
Because of the plot line to it. You've got a situation where you wake up in a basement and your first reaction to it, and the movie gives you that character's first reaction to it. Then the development of the plot from, did this person save me? Is this person hurting me? The uncertainty of the main character's ability. What is that?
None of your business, dude. Keep working.
The uncertainty that the main character feels as she progresses through, the experiences she's having, and trying to figure out exactly where she stands on this. Goodman does play a super creepy character, but in addition to that, the actual filming of the movie, the set pieces were great. You had that basement where she wakes up locked into that's half painted pink, and then you find out later on that he had abducted a girl, and you can't help but think that, hey, this is the dungeon room that he was keeping the girl in, and that's why it's half painted pink. And throughout the movie, there's little visual cues like the one light being on, the one light being off, the differences in the lighting between the hallway leading into the pink room and the pink room itself that just kind of creep you out without even making you realize why you're feeling creeped out. And it does a really good job of doing that.
That lighting and the painting of the rooms, something I did not pick up on, but I watched the movie with the director commentary and they specifically talked about that. So I think Jim picked up on that, which I didn't. You guys may have, but that was intentional and deliberate as the director had designed.
But I think you would have picked up on it even like subconsciously. Like it makes you feel uncomfortable.
That's what I'm saying. The way that it was done, it makes you feel uncomfortable and uncertain without even letting you know why it is. And then there was that one little section of the gray wall, and I've never heard the commentary, so I don't know if they mentioned it, but there's a one section of the gray wall that's broken and it looks like it's been patched, and you just kind of wonder, well, what was there before during the entire experience that happened in the house before the movie started?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That caused that there? Was this someplace where maybe he had the previous occupant shackled to and something happened and he broke it and had to fix it? But it just had that kind of unnerving feel between that and then the contrast of the family room that's all done up like a 70s sitcom, to where it keeps you off balance throughout the movie.
I'm glad I got to see this twice because I was kind of looking for, knowing what eventually happened, I was kind of looking for flaws during the second viewing, and I don't understand why, given what happens later, why he chained her a leg up to the wall. Besides creating like the impression that this is going to be a Saw type hostage sort of film, why would he have done that?
I don't think there's like a logical reason, because I think it even plays into his dialogue, right? He says all the wrong things. Like if you really think that there's a bunch of aliens out there and you know that that's what's happening, he's terrible at like soothing her fears, right? Like, which goes to like chaining her up. Like, okay, if you're trying to help someone and you're like actually trying to protect them, why don't he does a terrible job at it. Like he just like creeps everyone out by everything he says and everything he does, like chaining people up, locking them in, knocking them out with needles.
I think that's a lot to do with the beauty of his character and the way that Goodman plays it. Is his character is doing things that are off-putting and wrong and weird, but he doesn't see it. He thinks that what he's doing, the way he's reacting, is perfectly normal. He's chaining her to the wall because he's protecting her. He doesn't want her running off. It doesn't stop. It doesn't even register in his mind, the character's mind, that someone would see that and go, well, this is wrong. Why am I chained to a wall? He sees it as perfectly reasonable, and is shocked when people react to him differently than he expects. He expects that someone should be thanking him for what he's doing. He doesn't understand that he's just creeping the shit out of everybody in the room.
There's reasons why one might find that character creepy, and they're quite tangible, but there are, I think, lots of respectable things about his character that are kind of understated. Like, if this is what I was thinking about the second time I was watching it, is that, okay, so let's say, for instance, you're in a situation where there's an attack on your city or the world or whatever. You kind of have to have like a really rigid rule structure to maintain your survival. So right now we can just walk around outside and drive around, and everyone has to maintain the rules of traffic or police will come after them. There's a certain social contract people have so that, you know, there's rules that others are following that you benefit from. Take away all that structure and all those sort of subconscious rules or even understood rules. If you don't have your own set of rules that you absolutely follow, then you can find yourself in a situation, especially in that very microcosm of the bunker, things can go south real fast. I mean, you're only 1/3 of a power structure. And if you're soft on that power structure, then the 2/3 can overwhelm you. So I kind of appreciated his, although somewhat creepy, especially at many times, but like his rigidity and his absolute rules, like no touching. That's a good rule. If you have a couple, a male and a female, they form a sexual or romantic bond and they want to team up on you and kill you. That's 2 against 1. That's a rule that you don't want to have broken.
Well, that's a solid rule, except in his case, it was a rule because he had originally run this girl off the road because the last girl that he abducted and locked up in the room, he evidently had to kill. So now he needed a new creepy bondage girlfriend. And he didn't want Emmett, who forced himself into the bunker uninvited, to be drinking his Kool-Aid.
Drinking his Kool-Aid.
Yeah, that's bringing it back. Now, and it's actually
wait, literally drinking it. He has a lot of Kool-Aid.
It's addressed in the movie. His what you're talking about as far as his way of viewing society and being able to survive, as opposed to other people following society's rules. When they're talking about the regrets they have. And him saying that he doesn't have any regrets because he did everything he wanted to do. He prepared to survive and he did survive. So he's not fit to function in normal society, but he's perfectly fit to survive in the society that's created after the attack.
So is the Howard character a sexual predator who kidnaps young girls and keeps him in his bunker, or is he, from what I understood, his actual daughter ran off or died or something? Is he trying to recreate like a family dynamic, and that's why he abducts young girls?
From I got from the timeline in the movie is that the mother and daughter left, and after the mother and daughter left, he abducted the girl. Whether it's a sexual predator thing or not, I would think that, in my mind, the mother and daughter leaving is influenced not only by his survivalist behavior and his prepper behavior, but perhaps it is influenced by maybe some inappropriate gestures towards his daughter. So then she's gone, and now he has to fill the void. Again, whether it's a sexual thing or whether it's just he just really needs to have a little girl. In fact, he refers to Michelle as a little girl during that whole Pictionary segment, and not even being able to recognize her as a woman.
Yeah, I think that kind of speaks volumes to his either his pedophilic sort of approach to it or his misunderstanding of that a woman can be an adult. But I think that was telling. I think that the other piece that I thought of, which has now escaped me. Frowny face.
Good prep.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he clearly sees Emmett as a competition, because when Michelle kind of flirts with Emmett, it really sets him off.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm sorry.
No, the other male in the bunker is a clear threat to whatever. It's like a perfect fantasy for him. It's the end of the world, so he's got his doomsday fantasy. It's also the protecting father of the daughter fantasy or the sexual predation fantasy, whichever one. It's like two different. And that's what I thought was a little bit ridiculous about this movie, is like this guy has two different psychoses, if you want to call it that, which both come true
right
at this one event.
Yeah, and the one is like, it's like such a huge thing, right? Like he's predicted
his
the
waistline?
end of the... What's that?
His waistline?
No,
Yeah,
his waistline is huge, but he's predicted the end of the world and it's come true. It's got to be like a huge ego rush, right? Like it just would be like, you can understand why he's like, I get to, like, as what John was saying, I get to make the rules. Like, this is my world now. I predicted this. I can kind of control the environment. But yeah, that's a good point.
Right. That's I hadn't thought about that before, but yes, I mean, in the beginning of the movie, he's driving to his bunker because he realizes that it's happening, and by chance he stumbles across Michelle, and he thinks, "Hey, look at me. I've predicted this. All my life, people have been mocking me because I'm doing all of these things that are outside of societal norms in order to prepare for something that I feel is coming, and it came. So, hey, look at me. You guys are going to die. I'm not. And oh, look, I lost my last girl. Let me just grab this one as I go because, hey, I'm a winner."
And at the end where he has ice cream with her, his statement is something like, now that he's gone, we don't have to follow as many rules, or we can do whatever we want. That's what he says.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that kind of bleeds into either it's an entrapment type thing where you should feel more comfortable so I can have sex with you, or if it's that like something else deeper as far as like sort of a family structure, or the outsider has been removed. I'm not sure exactly what
he also shaves after Emmett dies. If you interpret that as like him trying to look sexier. Because now he's the only male in play.
I don't really think that whether it's a sexual or just a father figure type thing really matters as much. Either way, Emmett is a threat because it's either, hey, I'm the hero, or Emmett's the hero. So Emmett's got to go. Whether it's, or I want to have sex, or Emmett wants to have sex, Emmett's got to go. And that's super creepy where right after he's got done stuffing Emmett into a Tupperware container full of acid to dissolve him, he stops and shaves and fixes up his hair and puts on his best dad shirt and his dad tan pants and walks into the room with ice cream like, okay, well now it's clear. Now my way is free to be daddy. And
I looked up at you and you said daddy like that. It kind of creeped me out even at that point.
And it's just like, and his attitude is nothing is abnormal here. This is just what has happened. And nobody should feel that anything is weird because in his mind, the character's mind, it's just normal stuff. It's nothing weird about it. He did what he needed to do, and now he's going to reap the rewards.